be a combination story. We're going to go back in time. Nancy Pelosi and her role for what happened on January 6th. Donald Trump pardoning 1,500 January 6th protesters, and one individual named Richard Barnett, who's part of that group, who put his feet up on one Nancy Pelosi's desk. So, first of all, I want to pull up this image here. I think we've all seen it before, and I think it's great. 10 out of 10. I mean, my goodness. How do I feel about January 6th? I thought it was a stupid day altogether. But Richard Barnett, the man who put his feet on Nancy Pelosi's desk, has just been released from prison, which, okay, this witch hunt against the January 6th protesters, I thought was a frivolous waste of time, a waste of energy. And January 6th, the whole entire situation, if you really look at the full story of it, was one complete shite show. So I want to pull up this video here. We played it before, but here's Nancy Pelosi on that day.
We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol Police? I mean, the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
They thought that they had sufficient resources.
That is not a question of how they have been. They don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for.
Whoa! Wait.
They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more.
Sorry, one more time.
No. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more.
Now, of course, in that response, and I played this on last night's live stream, and Night Riding with Kit, Trump pardoning 1,500 protesters from the January 6th of 2021.
Sir? Yes, sir. First, we have a list of pardons and commutations relating to events that occurred on January 6, 2021.
Okay, and how many people is this?
I think this order will apply to approximately 1,500 people, sir.
So this is January 6th. These are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon.
Yes.
Full pardon.
Full pardon or commutation?
Full pardon. We have about 6 commutations in there where we're doing further research. Nice to see you again. So this is a big one. Anything you want to explain about this? We hope they get them. We hope they come out tonight, frankly. They're expecting it. Approximately 1,500 people, six commutations.
Were there any cases you did not need for pardon?
We're looking at different things, but the commutations would be the ones that we'll take a look, and maybe it'll stay that way, or it'll go to full pardon.
And the order does require the Bureau of Prisons to act immediately on receipt of the pardons and commutation orders. Sir,
So, one of those people, again, the same guy who put his feet on Nancy Pelosi's desk, was also pardoned as well. So I want to pull up this video here.
Philip, I can't get my seatbelt off. Everyone wants to know. Biggo, everyone wants to know, how does it feel to be free? They were calling in the prison. Thousands of people were calling in the prison for you. Yeah, they want to know, how does it feel to be free?
First, I'd like to say something else. Fight, fight, fight!
Anything else you'd like to say?
Okay, so, hey, man, it feels great. I can't wait to get home and see my family, my dogs, and all that. I'm going to have a pretty lengthy statement later. But for right now, I'm just going to chill out. I want to go to Waffle House. Don't ask me why.
I'll go. Oh, and hold on, buddy. Come on, listen. Behave yourself at Waffle House. All right. Okay. There's a lot of propaganda around Waffle House where there's a lot of fights there. But listen, buddy. No fight at the Waffle House. Hey, let's have democracy in the chat. Is there never a fight at Waffle House? Type 1 for kid. How dare you say that happens at Waffle House? There's nothing but calmness all around. Type 2, if you go to Waffle House, you better be ready to duck, dodge, dip, dive, dodge, and be sure to throw an uppercut. I wonder how many 2s will be in the chat. Buddy's going to go to Waffle House.
Dogs and all that. I'm going to have a pretty lengthy statement later. But for right now, I'm just going to chill out. I want to go to Waffle House. Don't ask me why.
I'll go with you.
There you go. Come with me.
Let's go.
All right, so he's going home. Look, this entire witch hunt against the people of January 6th, I mean, it all could have been avoided. This was a waste of time, energy, and resources. January 6th was not the end of the republic. That already happened. Our government's already bought and sold, okay? And these are people who, look, against their better judgment, maybe let their emotions get the better of them, on the one hand. Was there violence? Yes, absolutely. Was there going to be a destruction of our elected system? No, because it's already been destroyed. And yes, folks, to be clear here, there was a good portion in which the doors were open and the Cap Police said, come on in. And we've all saw the videos. We all saw the photos, people putting their feet on, politicians' desks, walking around, taking photos of the Hall of Injustice. I mean, the Hall of Congress. But he's going home. Okay. And for those of you who don't know, I recently did the interview with the QAnon shaman in 2023 in December. And you know what? These are people who were very excited about their politics and upset about the election. I would say don't get invested in electoral politics, but this does show Donald Trump following through with his promise of pardoning everybody who was part of that day. 1,500 people. It looks like they're all going home. They all got pardoned. I guess they can move on with the rest of their lives, to which I have to say I wish them all the best. And there's going to be a massive fallout with the Democrats because they got a huge L to carry. And that's a sad truth about the Democrats, because there's never going to be a day when they're not going to lose. And as more is going to be talked about, especially in regards towards the failure of the Biden-Harris administration, let us not forget that the Democrats chose to waste their time going after these individuals. And by the way, final note, just to pour salt in the wound, in 3, 2, 1, Biden did pardon the people who were part of that January 6th committee. Great system we got here. But don't worry, we got to panic because it could be lost at any moment, at any second of any day.
Radio station just censored the word devil. Clearly, we are on a different level. I guess you wouldn't notice all the rolling boulders crashing past your shoulders when you're taught to shift your focus lower, scream at all the pebbles, cheering on the bombers because you can't abide the rebels. But I bet you'll wring your bloody hands when all the dust has settled, when the last little limb is pulled from Gaza's twisted metal. Then you can say how you were led astray, and never once in all your days would you have knowingly supported all the genocide for which you clapped and prayed. But they baited you with unconfirmed blurbs about babies until you were filled with rage. Yet someone told you babies had been starving, bombed, and caged for nearly 80 years in Gaza, and you looked the other way. So regret, but make it fashion. Go and pluck that final petal off a hyacinth on Instagram for every kid they kettled. Every son that Israel imprisoned when they're little, that they tortured for a decade, then surprised with their acquittal. And when they got released and saw their parents and whatever siblings hadn't met the missiles, they stared right through their middle. Their eyes don't seem to focus, and their words are all but dribble, like they're pondering the darkest riddle. That is, how many false flags does it take to make humanity inhuman and uncivil, distorted by the revel? The crooked slant where Israel contorts into America, Biden bathing Bibi in a bloodbath in the bevel. I opened up my feed and I saw children disassembled. Turned some music on and heard the station censor devil. Imagine thinking Doja Cat's a threat to moral fabric in the single largest terror cell that ever felled a temple, that ever sparked a cleansing, that ever burned a market, that ever raped with bayonets or carpet-bombed apartments. that ever turned your water off and left you in the darkness, left you doing surgery on children while they're conscious. You sing the devil's praises every time you sing our anthem. You sing a hymn to him that watched us birth a million phantoms. You'll proudly wave his flag, and yet you will not name the devil? Well, clearly, we are on a different level. I can give you names, shit, I'll give you several. They say the devil wears a different face for every general, like a composite of the char he brought to fields of emerald, and the wail of every childhood we made ephemeral. So who else has left the stain of blood on everything they touch? Who else can starve civilians and they don't so much as blush? Who else has paid for Gaza being flattened into dust? If there's ever been a devil on this earth, then it is us. That's U.S. What an ugly couple letters. Feeding shit and ignorance to those it chose to tether. From the river to the sea, both are slowly growing redder. For the devil that you know just knows you better. It knows every gut reaction it could ever make you feel. It knows fear is that which wakes you up and gets you on your wheel. It knows just the kind of story that will justify its war. And the scripts are wrapped for World War IV. So just imagine my surprise to give the radio a listen and to hear such pious morals out of Zionists and Christians that they'd take the devil's name and try to clip it from existence while they carry out his bloody business. You would wave a fascist flag, and yet you honor not your Iblis? Name you not Apollyon? Hush you now your witness? Bleed the name of Belial till tongue is rolling listless in the man-made mouth of Mammon, as Lamia's whispers listen. When carts are wheeling bodies through the cities that we crushed, and the very air is rotten with decay of all that was, who else would censor devil yet behave as Legion does? If there's ever been a devil on this earth, then it is us. U.S., but not a unity of souls. More a mass of corporations turning houses into holes, turning people into puppets, turning puppets into mold, turning mold into nutrition bars worth their weight in gold because they're bombing every bakery and burning every field with phosphorus that never once has wanted for a meal. The devil wears a mask and it delights in the reveal, in that moment where the face is let to peel. We do not love the underdog. We do not cheer the rebels. We lust for all their blood until the dust has finally settled. Then pity just ourselves that we were so misled to revel. Proudly wave his flag, and yet we will not name the devil.